People of Norway have now had the chance to grieve together at special church services held across the country. A time to reflect and try to comprehend the enormity of what has happened in their normally peaceful and harmonious society. Earlier today, the police said the man now charged with the car bombing and the shootings, Anders Behring Breivik, had told them he acted alone. But the police will continue investigating whether others were actually involved.
The Pope has expressed his profound sorrow at the killings in Norway. At a service in Rome, he urged people to turn away from what he called the path of hate. The family of Amy Winehouse have said her death at the age of 27 has left them bereft. In a statement this afternoon, they called the singer a wonderful daughter, sister and niece. Flowers, candles and messages have been placed outside the star's home in North London, where she was found dead yesterday. A number of fans are there too. One of them, Gemma Oliver, says she hopes Amy Winehouse will always be remembered for her fabulous music and not for the other things she was known for.
Especially seeing her last week when she performed and she just couldn't even stand up. It seemed like a great shame, like someone needed to help her. And like, how do you help someone like that? She was just a shame, really. You couldn't do anything about it.
The president of the Association of Chief Police Officers, Sir Hugh Ward, has said officers found guilty of corruption should be sent to jail without question. Sir Hugh said he had zero tolerance of corrupt officers, regardless of their rank. He was speaking about allegations that newspapers had bribed the police for information. China has sacked 3 senior railway officials and ordered a safety overhaul after a collision yesterday between 2 high-speed trains. More than 40 people were killed and about 200 others injured. In the day's sport, Lewis Hamilton has won his second Grand Prix of the season and moved up to 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. He held off challenges from Ferrari's Fernando Alonso and Mark Webber of Red Bull to take victory in Germany. The defending world champion Sebastian Vettel finished 4th and remains well clear in the standings. And Cadel Evans has become the first Australian cyclist to win the Tour de France. Britain's Mark Cavendish was the victor in the final stage of this year's race on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. And that's the latest BBC News, 3 minutes past 5.
BBC Radio 2.
More at 6. First, though, the travel news. Here's Bobby.
Tom, thank you. First of all, to the A61. Between Harrogate and Harewood, it's been closed following an accident. It's actually been closed for at least an hour now. The accident's between Dunswick Lane and Green Lane. The police are there and asking you to avoid the area. Now, the M6 southbound has now reopened. This is just south of junction 19 for Knutsford. At Knutsford services, though, one lane remains shut and it's queuing back to junction 20, so still very heavy. West of Ellesmere Port, the A550 at Ledsham, that remains shut as well. Between the A540, which is the 2 Mills traffic lights turn, and the turn for Shotwick and Birkenhead, so the A517. Again, if you can avoid the area closed both directions, that would help emergency services. A55 eastbound starting to look very busy between junctions 32 Holywell and junctions 33, but just because of heavy holiday traffic. The M25 clockwise, new problem for you. Junctions 10 to 11, the A3 to Chertsey, one lane is closed following an earlier accident. They're still trying to clear up this fuel spillage, which is taking some time. And then clockwise at the top, still very long delays. Junction 21A, St Albans, solid to Potters Bar at junction 24. There's an event just off junction 24. I think that's what's causing the very slow traffic, but between those 2 junctions, it's taking at least 60 minutes. Thank you for your updates, and back now just after 6.
88 to 91 FM. Hello, Brady. BBC Radio 2. Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. Hello, Brady. On BBC Radio 2.
So I came into you, sweet lady, answering your Cliff Richard there with Devil Woman, dedicated to all you ladies out there, especially if your name's Rebecca. Good afternoon, folks. It's me, Paul O'Grady. I'm with you now until 7 o'clock. We've got some smashing things for you. We've got the Cause. We know you love the Cause. Malcolm's mad for the Cause. Oh, what? Core mad. He's got his Core T-shirt on now. We've got Herman's Hermits. You've been down the archives again, Malcolm, rooting round, have you, in your spare time? And Doris Day. Yeah, we've got a lovely song from her new album. But first, should we kick off with a bit of Jimmy Ruffin and our Motown moment? I know we're early, but Tempest Fugit. Here we go. Farewell is a lonely sound, Mr. Jimmy Ruffin.
Someone you love, you know you hurt inside as you wonder why you must leave the one that you love. Saying goodbye to someone you love is so hard for any man. You say it's just for a while, then you force a smile and you hope she'll understand. Tear appears in her eyes as she tightly holds your hand. Then you let her know that it's time to go. You must leave while you can. Oh, but farewell is a lonely sound when told to someone you love. You know you hurt inside. Must leave the one that you love. I'm leaving, but I'll be back one day. Oh, every silent step you take, each one hurts your heart. As you board the train, you feel a pain that starts as you depart. Yeah, you wipe your eyes so she can't see, 'cause a man should never cry. Now there's just a trace of her crying face as you wave to her goodbye. That's why farewell is a lonely sound when told to someone you love. You know you hurt inside as you wonder why you must leave the one that you love. I don't want to leave you, baby. I don't want to say goodbye, no, no. Ooh, 'cause it hurts inside and you wonder why you must leave the one that you love. Baby, baby, farewell is a lonely sound when told to someone you love.
Jimmy Ruffin there. Farewell is a lonely sound. Well, it depends who's saying farewell. If it's someone you can't stand, you're glad to get rid, aren't you, really? But, you know, if it's somebody you're dearly in love with, you stood on a platform, on a railway station, tears running down your face, waving your hanky, as the smoke from the steam train goes in your eye. And what am I talking about? They haven't had steam for years, have they? Even I don't remember steam, Malcolm. Right. Many thanks if you emailed or wrote to me this past week. And as I say every week, and I say because I mean it, we're nothing without you and your messages. So please keep them coming. And, well, I'll drag Madam in and she'll tell you how to get in touch. Go on, say it now. Say it.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA. Or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/radio2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Thank you, Maria. Do you want your pear drop? She was sucking a pear drop when she came in then. I put it in my hand in a tissue while she said that, and she's just marched out and left me with it. I've just had a suck of it and all. I mean, I wiped it first. Isn't it funny how they taste like nail varnish? Not that I've ever drunk nail varnish, but they do. And they take the roof off your mouth, pear drops. And you get like an ulcer on the top of your mouth. I'm digressing again. Right, what we got here? Let's have a look. Dear Paul, I'm with you. Are you? I thought I was on my own. I love Elkie Brooks. It was so good to hear Pills sing last Sunday. How about an all-star triple with her, please? And that's from Daniel in South Croydon. Daniel, it's done, mate. We'll definitely have that. Bring back Elkie. Should we start a campaign? I think we should. She's a marvellous singer. I love her, and I love Maggie Bell as well. Do you remember Maggie Bell? She had a voice like gravel. Oh, she was fabulous. We'll have a bit of Maggie Bell. Shove her on the list, Malcolm. Yes, we're going to start shaking things up in here now on Radio 2. Dear Paul, I was away and I missed your final telly show. My neighbour Pat taped it for me, but now she's away. We're not talking prison here, are we, ladies? So I'll have to wait until she gets back to enjoy it. Well, where I'm from, if they say she's away, I think 6 months suspended sentence. Anyway, Pat's gone to Frinton for a few days. It should be nice there if the sun comes out. She took a nice woolly hat, though, just in case. Anyway, I hope you had a good time at your Mac party. I think that's what you call it. Although why you all have to wear Macs, I really don't know. This is very peculiar, this. I think she might drink, this lady. This is from Maureen in Yardley Wood. A Mac party? Oh, you mean a rap party? No, love, you don't wear Macs. It's wrap, you know, we wrap it up. You know, we all go in a room and drink warm lager for half an hour and then go our merry ways. That's a wrap party. Why are you pulling a face like that, Malcolm? All right, maybe go your merry way a few hours later. Dear Paul, it's Francine here in Margate. I'm sorry to hear Mrs. Balaclava's in trouble. I'll just explain to me, listener. She's been accused of copyright infringement and she's currently being held in a detention centre in Talacca, North Wales. I did go down with my rent book to bail her out, but they said the charges were too serious, so she's still banged up. Anyway, it's an outrage. Forget that Coronation Street campaign to free fizz. I think we should start a free balaclava campaign. Leave it to me to sort out. I'll get a Facebook petition going. OK with you? Poor Mrs. Clava. And that's from Francine. Francine, a word to the wise. You leave well enough alone. This is a threat. You leave her there. You just leave her there in that... Leave her. You don't bother yourself, love, with Facebook. You just concentrate on getting Fizz out of Nick. Poor Fizz. Fancy locking Fizz up, of all people. God, it's rough, that street, isn't it? They've all been in. Rightio, it's time now for Jules. Jules! And I've wrongly credited Malcolm with that title. I should have thanked Diana Hammond in Kent instead. Why is that? Did she email in? Oh, clever Diana Hammond. Anyway, Diana, this is for you then. And this is Mr. Jules Holland with his Rhythm and Blues Orchestra with You Don't Love Me. ripped the nails out the floorboards, doesn't it? That was You Don't Love Me, Jules Holland and his Rhythm and Blues Orchestra. And if you're listening, Jules, I love you. I think you're fabulous. Next now, I've got a request for Francis, spelt with an I, so it's a gentleman, and Francis lives in Stevenage. Thanks for the letter, Francis. We like a letter on this show. Bit of Basils and Bonds, you know, and the Platinum pen. Love it. Although other forms of stationery are available, and there's a selection of biros in various supermarkets and stationery outlets. You have to say this kind of stuff, otherwise him and the Leather Max down with a cattle prod. Anyway, Francis tells me that he loves this great collaboration from 1985, and I agree with you because it features UB40 with Chrissie Hynde, and it's I Got You Babe.
They say we're young and we don't know, won't find out until we grow.
Well, I don't know, baby, if that's true, 'cause you got me, and baby, I got you. Baby, I got you, baby. I got you, baby.
They say our love won't pay the rent before it's earned, our money's always spent.
I guess that's so we don't have a lot, but at least I'm sure of all the things we got. Baby, I got you, baby. I got you, baby. I got flowers in the spring. I got you to wear my ring.
And when I'm sad, you're around. And when I get scared, you're always around. So let them say your hair's too long. I don't care, with you I can't go wrong.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Baby, I got you, baby. I got you, baby. I got you, baby. I got you to hold my hand.
I've got you to understand.
I've got you to walk with me.
I've got you to talk with me.
I got you to kiss goodnight.
I've got you to hold me tight.
I got you and I won't let go.
I've got you to love me so.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
UB40 there with Chrissie Hynde, I Got You Babe. And you know, UB40 got the first break when Chrissie saw them in an alehouse or public house, to me and you, and she gave them an opportunity as the support act to her band The Pretenders, and of course the rest's history. I like Chrissie, I'm biased because she loves the Avengers, because she used it, didn't she, on one of her videos. Go on that well-known, I can't say that either, thing on the internet, you can have a look, you know. Right, okay then. Let's have a little look at your messages. Dear Paul, can you please say a big hello to my lovely American wife, Jan, and her big brother, also named Paul. What a coincidence. Jan and I are regular listeners to your show, and we are listening whilst driving back from Walsall from Scotland. Malcolm told me how to say it. He said that's what you say, Walsall. Walsall. Anyway, Paul has been on a trip, not me. I'm not talking about myself in the third person. I haven't got to that stage yet. Paul has been on a trip to Europe and he flew into Manchester. Don't forget Paul's American, where we picked him up so he could fulfill a lifelong dream to see Scotland. They're funny like that, our American cousins. Keep up the good work. Bill Green from Walsall. Bill, I'm desperate to see Scotland again. I get withdrawal symptoms if I don't go up to the Misty Isles and see Skye, so You can't blame the Americans wanting to go up there and see Edinburgh and have a few bevies in Glasgow and see a show at the King's and, ooh, wonderful. Good evening, Paul. I've been listening to your show on the little island of Paxos.
It's a small world.
I'm gonna punch him any minute now. Paxos is, of course, in Greece and has nothing to do with America or that satanic park in France with that satanic ride where I had to have therapy for 6 weeks after I was stuck on it for half an hour once with a gang of kids screaming. Anyway, Paxos, as we all know, is the island that lent its name to well-known stuffing. Anyway, she lives in Paxos, where she's working for the summer. It's all right for some. Keep up the good work, she says. You make me chuckle. And that's from Mary Buckley. Mary, this is a serious show, a heavy debate. I bet the weather's nice there, is it? The sky's not too good. I shouldn't really mention sky, should I? It's overclouded. Anyway, time now for, oh dear, not one, not two, but 3 dead pets. With air being banged up in Talaka, we're playing this. Dear Paul, tell him to tone the trumpets down, will you? It's been an awful few months. First, my faithful friend Jack the dog succumbed to an illness he'd been suffering from for quite some time. I'm glad he's no longer in pain, but that doesn't stop me missing him like mad. Then our 17-year-old cat Tilly died in her sleep a few weeks later. And to top it all off, my son's hamster Coffee died yesterday. My only solace is that things happen in threes, don't they? We do still have 2 cats, a dog and a rabbit. Hopefully, we'll have no more deaths for quite some time. And that's from the Price family in Grantham. Thank you for that. I have a funny feeling, as I'm reading this out, the 2 cats, the dog and the rabbit, are packing. There are 2 cat litter trays, as we speak, being rammed into a hold hall. The dog's packing a bit of hay, and the rabbit's packing hay. Well, no, the dog might be generous and say, that's too heavy for you to pack, that bale of hay. I'll take it. You carry my Chewy. Oh, and I'm sorry, the Price family. 3, and that's a bit much, isn't it? No, that takes me bed, really. I know I was after that. When the fox got my chickens, I took to me bed for the weekend. I was bereft. Malcolm, you don't understand, you see. You've got to love, you've got to have these critters, and then you understand, it tears your arse out. It really does. Now, I gave this next one, eggs out now and start queuing outside your local record shop. There's none of them either, is there? Soon it's going to be lost pub, lost record shops, lost newspapers. That'll be the next thing. And there'll be a few of them, believe you me. Right, so got a little message here now. I'll just skate off that thin ice, because Malcolm starts to pluck his hair out of his head. If you saw the last of my TV show the other week, you will have heard me mention, you might have, unless you were, yawning, you'll have heard me mention a very nice gentleman by the name of Mr. Carr of Sidcup. And Mr. Carr sent me a letter in because he'd bought a chainsaw on another well-known website I can't name, but the one that's named after a river and tough women who used to fight. And the said website suggested that people, at the bottom of it has a link, and it says, people who bought this also bought. Well, strangely enough, people who've been buying a chainsaw, they've also been buying my last book. I don't know how the two go together, but they obviously do. Well, Mr. Carr, if you're listening, please email me here at Radio 2. That's Paul O'Grady at bbc.co.uk, because we lost your letter and we can't get back to you. And as you know, we'd like to reply. Let's see, hang on, these are stuck together. What have you been eating here, Malcolm? Dear Paul, I'm loving that new Dead Pet music from New Orleans. You're weird. Hold on, reading this message back, Paul, that sounds so wrong. I've just pointed that out to you. But you know what I mean? No, I do know what you mean, because I've been to one of those New Orleans funerals when I did the travel show, and they play very solemn music when you go, and you have your umbrella up and your black Mac, and then coming back, it's all and straight in a jazz bar. That's what I'm having when I kick the bucket. Anyway, it's such a welcome change after months of that smelly lady with the mittens. Good riddance, that's what I say, and that's from Bradley Fisher in Cobham. I like Bradley Fisher. Bradley Fisher's on my way. Bradley, you're not stuck in a red hot studio with her. Stinking, honestly. Thanks for that, Bradley. I shall pass that on to Talaka, North Wales. Dear Paul, my name is Phyllis, and my best friend Monica is 83 on Tuesday. Could you wish her a happy birthday? I think she's one of your younger listeners. She is, actually. I've known her for years. I remember her saying to me once, Phyllis, You're going to have to learn to take pleasure in the misfortunes of others. Otherwise, you're going to have a very miserable old age. Sound advice, Paul. It's something Blanche once said to Ken and Corrie as well. Much love, Phyllis of Northampton. Phyllis, I've never met Monica, but I love her. She's right. A bit of schadenfreude does us all the world of good. And Phyllis, if you listen, love, happy birthday. And I'm going to take your advice to heart. I hope I see somebody fall over when I come out the studio, because I just laugh. Normally I'd rush over and help them up and take them to hospital and get them about 3 in the morning. Dear Paul, your listener May in Solihull was lucky to have one of her headaches last week. Sadly, I hadn't heard your warning, and I joined that woman... Oh, no. I joined that woman you call Pamela of High Wycombe at one of her parties here in Solihull up by the ice rink. Well, it wasn't quite the party I was expecting. There were no pineapple and cheese chunks on cocktail sticks. I think they're a bit passé now. No glasses of sherry, and there wasn't a scone in sight. No, all too soon we discovered to our dismay it wasn't that kind of party. It wasn't those, was it, where you walk in and you're invited to throw your keys in the middle of the room? Was it really? Oh, dear. Let's just say Pamela, formerly of High Wycombe, has new rules for the game of Twister. Oh, Lord. Terence, my husband, put his back out, as long as that's the only thing he put out. If only we'd listened to your show, Brendan and Terence of Solihull. Listen, I love Solihull. I love you people up there. And this is a serious warning. Keep away from Pamela of High Wycombe. And if you see her in the ice rink, she's there for one reason. She'll keep. That's the only way she's on ice. No, it's gone 5 now, so that means here's today's 5 o'clock triple, funny enough. And this week has been requested by Mabel Bryant, who lives not far from Keele. Now, Mabel says she can see the university from her bathroom. That's handy, isn't it, really? She stands in the sink, apparently, and puts a sponge under her right foot to give her that leverage. She can see the spiders. So, me lovely Mabel, just for you, today's 5 o'clock all-star triple features Marty's little girl, Kim Wilde.
Looking out a dirty old window, down below the cars in the city go rushing by. I sit here alone and I wonder why. Friday night and everyone's home. I can feel the heat, but it's soothing heading down. I search for the beat in this steady town. Downtown, the young ones are going. Downtown, the young ones are growing. We're the kids in America. We're the kids
there you have our 5 o'clock all-star triple featuring Miss Kim Wilde. We had Kids in America, You Came, and 4-Letter Word. Do you know she's a fabulous gardener, Kim? I mean, when I was doing my tea time show, we had her on. She gave me some great tips. Seriously, she did. Things I've had no luck with are blossoming. Absolutely. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. I never had green fingers. They were sort of beige, but now they are. They're emerald green and everything's thriving. So a big thank you, Mabel, for that. And don't forget, I'll have the 6 o'clock triple in an hour or so. I'm Paul O'Grady. This is Radio 2, in case you're confused. And I'm going to read a few more messages out for you. Hello again, Mr. O'Grady. Hopefully this time you'll get the gypsy photos I wrote to you about recently. I've tried sending them before, but they keep coming back. This is on the email, you know. I took them especially for you whilst on holiday in Las Vegas, and I hope that you like them. Well, Case, I'm proud to tell you that you've attached them correctly to your email, and they're great. Thank you very much. It's taken me so long to work out how to use email. Please, will you play me a request to calm me down? And that's from Kate Mayer. It's either Major or Mayer or Mayer. Mayer. Well, Mayer spelt M-E-R-E, as in Raby Mayer. Or a two-faced mare, as my mother used to say. Or a crying mare, that was the other, a crying mare. All right, Case, thank you very much. And the next one is for you, and thank you so much. Oh, here's a lovely one. Look, here's Natalie Wood and Rosalind Russell here. Who's that one there? Oh, it's the coat. Oh, that's the coat from the film. You must have gone to a museum or something. And when I was in Las Vegas, I never went and saw them. I never knew. I told you, Malcolm, about my time in Las Vegas. We were supposed to go for 4 days. I was only there 24 hours. I hated it. And they're saying, oh, look, we got an Eiffel Tower. So, yeah, mate, I can go through the Eurostar through the tunnel. It only take me 2 hours and see the real McCoy. I've tramped all the way here through the Nevada desert to look at a plastic Eiffel Tower and dancing waters. We used to have them in Blackliss in Liverpool when we had the grotto. Oh, I couldn't be. And I don't wish to be rude, but the word diet doesn't exactly... It's not high on the agenda in Las Vegas. I mean, you know, I haven't got much on me weight, but I'd be hanging around those fruit machines and I'd see a family of 9 stomping, literally, like dinosaurs towards me, and I think I better move in case they think I'm a snack. Dear Paul, could you please say hi to my dad? Hi, Dad. I haven't said that for years. And thank him for bringing Sophie, my mad but wonderful Labrador puppy, into my life. Dad brought Sophie home after we lost my mum in March. Could you please tell him how wonderful he is and how precious he is, not only to me, but to all my friends who think so much of him. Keep taking the meds, Paul, because I really enjoy listening to your wonderful show every week. And that's from Helen Hampton and Sophie. Well, Helen, my old girl, I'm delighted Sophie's found a lovely home. There you go. She'll help you get over your grief. Oh, I love Labradors, and they're so playful. Dear Paul, a few weeks ago, 2,000 ladies dressed in their pyjamas walked the sleepwalk in aid of Rowcroft Hospice in Torbay in Devon. And I would like to say a big thank you to all who participated, especially Ockham Farm, which served as our start and finish point, not forgetting all the volunteer marshals and sponsors. To date, we have raised over £130,000. That's good. Finally, a big thank you to Claire, our team leader, and to my lovely hubby Ian, who has cooked tapas for me tonight, but has left the kitchen looking like a bomb's hit it. And he's now fast asleep and snoring away. Many thanks, Paul. And that's from Debs Wedderburn. There's a lot of words in this, Malcolm, I've had trouble saying in this email. You do it deliberately, don't you? But did you manage to see I got through? But not practising. Well, this is what happens, you know. Look, it's well known in the theatre. I can walk in a massive dressing room, pristine, sparkling, and within 10 seconds it looks like a gang of hippies I've been squatting in it for 6 months. The same goes to me flat. We're just like that. And if I was to attempt making a tapas, I'd hate to see what state my kitchen would be in. Talking of kitchens, do you fancy an early cocktail? Today we're having some muck called a casino cocktail. So get your shaker out. If you haven't got a shaker, a bucket will do. And what you do is you ladle in 2 ounces of gin, a quarter of a teaspoon of maraschino liqueur, and another, if you haven't got the liqueur, just get some of them cherries and stamp on them till you get the juice out of them and pour that in. And another quarter of a teaspoon of lemon juice into this shaker or bucket. And then you pop in 2 dashes of orange bitters and some ice and give it a good shake. Strain the mixture into a chilled glass and then throw a cherry in. And if the cherry doesn't dissolve, it's safe to drink. And as ever, please remember to drink responsibly. Don't, and I tell you this all the time, be rolling in the street with your skirts over your head, making a show of yourself. And don't forget, if you don't fancy drinking it, you can always use it to get rid of those hard-to-remove stains in the lav or to strip paint. And to accompany that casino cocktail, funny enough, here's the Torero Band with Casino Royale. That's it, finished. I hate it when they do that at the end of a record, leave a big gap, and they're paused on the end of the precipice, ready to speak. That was Casino Royale, the Torero Band. And just if you're a bit daft and you're interested in the recipe for this week's cocktail, then it's on the show page, but be it at your own risk. We were just talking there while that was on about Casino Royale. And David Niven, if you've ever read Ian Fleming's books about James Bond, he was the truest, really, to the character in the books, because James Bond wasn't like this big, airy-chested stud like Sean Connery. And the reason he asked for his cocktail shaken, not stirred, he wasn't being cool. It's because he was a little nitpicker, fussy. Shake it, not stirred. He was a civil servant. I don't want to upset all you civil servants. I was one myself in me time. I joined again because of the Avengers. I thought I'll get myself into the Ministry of Defence and live the high life. I ended up working for the Department of Health and Social Security, which didn't have women in leather throwing men over their shoulders. I didn't get to drive a fancy car or live in a wonderful flat. Be careful what you don't wish for. Anyway, it's time now for today's Lost TV theme. And today, it's the turn of a much-loved and very, highly successful British sitcom. And it ran from 1979 to 1987. And it was a continuation of another hit BBC show called Happy Ever After. None of this I remember, because don't forget, 79 to 87's Paul O'Grady, The Wilderness Years. And besides, we didn't have a telly. Well, we did, but we didn't have an aerial. You had to stick a wire coat hanger in the back. Which I wouldn't recommend you do at home. case you get electrocuted. Malcolm's scribbling away his compliance form today. His little index finger's going to be rock hard. Anyway, the series was about the lives of a middle-class suburban couple, the Medfords, and they lived at 71 Poplar Avenue in Purley in Surrey. And most of the 65 episodes were written by John Kane. Is this necessary, all this, Malcolm? You're not bored rigid there, are you, on your sofa? And the show starred Terry Scott and June Whitfield. Have you got it? Of course you have. Today's Lost TV theme is going out especially for Ricky Tranter, and it's a theme from Terry and June. Back at it. That was composed by John Shakespeare. That was the theme from Terry and June. And if you'd like to hear your favourite Lost TV theme, then just let me know, and if we can find it, we most definitely will play it, but don't mention Tanko because we can't get hold of that. I've got a request now for Trevor Gold, and Trevor fancies a song from the 60s. Well, I'm guessing he means the 1960s because, unlike Malcolm, I haven't got too many records for the 1860s lying about. I have from the 1600s, funny enough, but not the 18... I'd rather not talk about the 1600s. It's a very harrowing time for me. It's Herman's Hermits, who was once in Coronation Street, with Something Is Happening.
Something is happening, and it started happening when you walked by. Something is happening, and it's changing everything. Do you know why? Soon as you started to kiss me, something new suddenly hit me. The world over, it's always happening, the same sort of thing to others too.
More great music and plenty more of my babble after 6 o'clock. I'm Paul O'Grady and this is BBC Radio 2. I'm online, on digital and on 88 to 91 FM.
News at 6 o'clock, this is Tom Sanders. 93 people are now known to have died in the bomb attack in Oslo and shootings on an island nearby on Friday. 5 others remain missing. The main suspect, Anders Behring Breivik, has told police the attacks were gruesome but necessary. He's reported to have links to right-wing extremists and be opposed to immigration. A Muslim politician, Abid Raja, says he hopes the tragedy will bring his fellow countrymen together.
I'm sure the Norwegians, the Muslims, the Jews, all of us together will be able to fight through this crisis together, and we will be able to stand together as a nation and keep on building on those values that we are so known for.
The family of the singer Amy Winehouse have said her death has left a gaping hole in their lives. A post-mortem examination has yet to be carried out into the cause of the death, which police say is unexplained. The Business Secretary, Vince Cable, has said a deal on reducing the United States debt failed because of a few right-wing nutters in Congress. President Obama had proposed an increase in taxes, which was opposed by Republicans, and a reduction in government spending. A 21-year-old man drowned early this morning after jumping from a balcony overlooking the River Ouse in the centre of York. Police say another man who tried to rescue him got into difficulties and was lucky to escape. A spokesman said the man who died paid the ultimate price for a moment of misplaced exuberance. Sport now, and Lewis Hamilton has won the German Grand Prix. The defending champion, Sebastian Vettel, was fourth. David Croft was watching the action at the Nürburgring.
There were tears mixed in with the cheers for Lewis Hamilton, who may have sported his usual optimism when arriving at the Nürburgring, but never truly believed the win was on. At the start, he blasted past Webber. Once again, the Australian sluggish off the line, and although he did briefly lead the race, it was a key moment. Hamilton, meanwhile, built up his advantage. Alonso, constantly threatening, along with Webber in the early stages, was right in the hunt, but the Ferrari driver in the closing laps dropped back to give Hamilton a comfortable victory.
Mark Cavendish has become the first British cyclist to win the Sprinters title in the Tour de France. He won the final stage of the race in Paris for the third year in a row. The overall winner of the Tour was the Australian Cadel Evans. England's cricketers have tightened their grip on the first test against India at Lords. They declared on 269 for 6 in their second innings, setting India a target of 458 for victory. Celtic started their Scottish Premier League season with a 2-0 win at Hibernian. And a look at the weather finally. Tonight it'll stay dry and fine for many, but low cloud, hill fog and drizzle will continue across the southwest of the UK and the far northeast of Scotland. BBC News at 3 minutes past 6. Our next at 7.
BBC Radio 2.
And Bobby has a travel update for us.
Tom, thank you. First of all, to the A61, still between Harrogate and Harewood. It's closed following an accident much earlier this evening. It's between Dunswick Lane and Green Lane, and still avoid the area. The latest on the M6 southbound, they're trying to reopen the last lane following the accident just past junction 19 at Knutsford Services. Still some congestion through there. The A550 west of Ellesmere Port, that's still closed at Ledsham. It's closed between the A540 and the turning for Birkenhead, which is the A5117. The A55 eastbound still very slow. Junction 32 for Holywell and junction 33. It's just because of the holiday traffic returning. And then the M1 southbound, junctions 14 to 11. We've got really busy traffic in the roadworks. There's also been an accident, so one lane is shut, but it's taking up to an hour and 25 minutes to get through that traffic. M25 clockwise, junctions 10 to 11. The A3 to Chertsey, we've got one lane closed with an accident, means queues from 9. And then clockwise at the top between junctions 21, which is the M1, to junction 22. We've still got very heavy traffic, but from there to 24 where we had a lot of congestion, most of that has cleared on the clockwise side. Anti-clockwise it's slow between junctions 13 and 11, so Staines to Chertsey. And finally the A12 in Mount Nessing, we've got real problems between junction 11 for the M25 and 12 for Mount Nessing. Broken down whole sparks blocking one lane and the very long delays. Thanks for your updates. Back now just after 7.
Online, on digital and on 88 to 91 FM. Radio 2.
Go on, leave me breathless. Come on. The daylight's fading slowly, but time with you is standing still. I'm waiting for you only. The slightest touch and I feel weak. I cannot lie from you. I cannot hide. I'm losing the will to try. Can't hide it, can't fight it. So go on, come on, leave me breathless. Tempt me, tease me, till I can't deny this love and feeling. Make me long for your kiss. So on, yeah, come on, And if there's no tomorrow, and all we have is here and now, I'm happy just to have you. You're all the love I need somehow. It's like a dream, although I'm not asleep. And I never want to wake up. Don't lose it, don't leave it. So go on, come on, leave me breathless. Tempt me, tease me, until I can't deny this love and feeling. Make me long for your kiss. So on, yeah, come on. And I can't lie from you. I cannot hide. And I've lost my will to try. Can't hide it, can't find it. So go on, come on, leave me breathless. Tempt me, tease me, until I can't deny this love and feeling. Make me long for your kiss. So on, come on, leave me breathless. Go on, come on, leave me breathless. Go on, come on, leave me breathless. Go on.
And there you have it, The Cause with Breathless. And, well, that's what I was like in Peru, because I had altitude sickness. Gasping I was like a goldfish flung out of the bowl onto the soil. Anyway, welcome back. And I'm Paul O'Grady. I nearly forgot who I was. I had to think, well, you get confused banged up in this studio. I mean, no daylight or anything. Just pictures of Ken Bruce's conquests stuck to the window, so no sunlight. He's got pictures of all his women. Who's up there now? There's Kylie and Duffy and somebody I haven't got a clue, Cheryl Cole. And there's one picture in the right top left-hand corner of one of mine. Sat in a deck chair, and let me tell you, she's the most fetching out of the lot of them. Anyway, we've got plenty to come before 7 o'clock. We've got the All-Star Triple, plus your thank yous and the happy ending. But first, should we have a bit of Northern Soul? I'm in the mood for it. Here's Landslide, Mr. Tony Clark.
Misery is rushing down on me like a landslide. Pain's falling from every side like a landslide. I'll get over
wasn't it? They made them a lot shorter in them days. That was Landslide Tony Clark. And remember, keep the faith, one and all. Now, please, as well as keeping the faith, keep your emails coming in. And the email address is paulogrady@bbc.co.uk. Time for a few quickies. Chris, did your wife, Kath Birch, forgive you the other Sunday? Remember, never interfere with a woman when she's cooking the Sunday dinner. Or never interfere with a man when he's cooking In fact, get out the kitchen when somebody's cooking. That's my advice. Hello to Nicholas Sherry, mine's a small one, who's been listening in Copenhagen. It's good to know you get me loud and clear over there. Jane Edwards in Barnstable, North Devon, you're very welcome. I'm glad to help. A big hello to Betty Jordan in Fleet, Hampshire for the lovely card. Jane, listen to me, I couldn't think of anything worse, if you want my honest opinion. Happy 50th to Margaret Jones from all the ladies in the book club. A big shout out to the twins Jason and Pippa, who will be 10 on July the 7th. Happy birthday. And finally, thanks to Kirsty Longfellow for sending me a stick of rock from Weston-super-Mare. Thanks, Kirsty. I'll have to suck it slowly because with my choppers I couldn't bite in anymore now. They'll fly off. I've done that before. Has anyone out there got a bridge? And have you ever lay in bed and thought, there's one of those sweets downstairs that's shaped like a CD rack. You know the ones I'm talking about? You get them in duty free. They're massive. They're like triangular. And if you have it in the fridge, they're like harder than concrete. You're lying in the bed and you think, I can't leave it. No, I'm going to go down and have a piece. I'm lying in bed. Next thing, off the mouth, shot across the bedroom floor. Much to the delight of Bullseye. Have you ever tried to get your plate back off a dog? Dear Paul, so my favourite TV show is coming back. Dallas. I know Larry Hagman will be donning his Stetson once more to play JR, to do battle with his brother Bobby, played by the gorgeous Patrick Duffy. And I hear Sue Ellen will be fighting the hurricane winds of South Fork swimming pool once again. Oh, I can't wait. But what about you? Have you ever fancied yourself as a cowboy come oil baron? No, not really, if you want my honest opinion. I'd love to see you make an appearance over in Texas. Maybe Lily could play Miss Ellie. Miss Ellie? How old do you think Lily is? Or, if we all squint, possibly the poison dwarf Lucy. Thanks for that. You should be a casting director. That's Claire in Staines. Thank you. I've been to the house, you know, in Dallas, South Fork. It's tiny. They never used the interiors. That was all done in the studio. But the exteriors, and it's extremely windy. We were filming there. I remember hanging onto this patio table for grim death. Dear Paul, I really enjoy listening to you on the radio. Thank you. The light is fading as I put the finishing touches to the poo painting I am doing in my unborn daughter's newly decorated bedroom. By poo painting, I am assuming it's Winnie the Pooh. I'm hoping it is, otherwise you're going to have a very disturbed daughter. Please tell Steph how much I love her. I love her now just as much as when we first got together. Please play as a record. And that's from Jonathan Wyville. Well, I'm guessing Steph's your wife or your partner, not some random woman you met in the newsagents last Tuesday. Anyway, will do. Steffi loves you dearly. And, well, good luck with the baby. That's all I can say. And draw her a lovely picture of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and Popeye. I know Popeye wasn't in it, but I think she probably like him. Dear Paul, we live on a small hill farm half an hour from Cardiff. The poultry suddenly started making a serious racket and I went to investigate. In the chicken house, I found this magnificent raptor. I think it's a peregrine falcon. It was confused, and despite several attempts, it could not find its way out. So I simply picked it up by its two legs, being very respectful of its talons and beak. It wasn't really worried and waited patiently while we found the camera to record the scene. Then I tossed it up into the air, and away it flew out across the valley. What an experience. Picture attached. And that's from Roy Peckham. Well, have a look at this. Oh, isn't it a beauty? Yeah, you were lucky there, you know, them claws, them talons and that beak. Shred you in seconds. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I have crows get into man, and they're a nightmare to get out. Right, time for something continental now and classy as we head over to the city of bridges, the floating city, or the city of canals. No, it's not that quaint little fishing village of Birkenhead where I hail from. Instead, it's beautiful Venice, and here's Rondo, something else I can't say, Rondo Veneziano with La Serenity. You do this to me deliberately, don't you? You know I haven't come alive till about 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, enjoy. Italian Chamber Orchestra, and they're led by the maestro, somebody else I can't say, but he's a lovely, lovely man. I'll tell you that much. A smashing fella. I had a drink with him one night. Couldn't understand a word he was saying, and vice versa, but he's charming. OK, that got me out of that. It's time now for our thank yous. This is where we help you to say those two little yet very important words, thank you. Now, last week we helped Chloe and Sam Winston show their gratitude to mystery man John, because John fixed their car. Lucy in Nottingham thanked her best friend Clara for organising the best hen weekend ever. And Angie Bayliss in Leeds thanked Lynn Mundy for her great support. So who would you like to... Not that kind of support, you know, she gave it a shoulder... I'm wasting my time on this. There's a certificate of thanks signed by me if your message is read out on the show. And then there's the box of chocolates, highly toxic, and a limited edition T-shirt for the very best letter or email of the week. But you can wear that in private, nobody needs to know. First cab off the rank is Matthew Baker, and Matthew says, I would like to thank Jessica Curtis. In June, my back went. I had a trapped nerve, which was excruciatingly painful. Yeah, Malcolm, you had that. Remember when you had that machine strapped to your back? Size of a phone box it was. I wanted to cry because of the pain, but because Jessica was there with me, it stopped the tears coming to my eyes. Jessica called me mum, who drove up to look after me, but Jessica didn't leave my side until my mum arrived. I really think she deserves an official thank you for staying with me for so long. Jessica is currently training to be a paramedic, and I know she'll be brilliant once she's qualified. And that's from Matthew Baker in Cambridge. Matthew, I hope you're better now, because I've never had a bad back. Well, I shouldn't say that, curse myself. But I know it's agony, and Jessica really does deserve an official thank you, and that's exactly what she's going to receive. Next is Chris Sanders, and Chris says, I would like to thank my family, that's me mum, dad, sisters Jenny and Elaine, and my brother David. A few weeks ago, I was thrown a 32nd birthday party. It was such a lovely afternoon with wine, good food, and most importantly, wonderful company. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being the most amazing family in the world. I hope they know how much I love and appreciate them. Thanks. And that's from Chris Sanders in Liverpool. You had a great do there, Chris, didn't you? Jazz out, as we say in Liverpool. And a lovely family. Anyway, an official one is in the post to your lot. And now we have our letter of the week. And this week it comes from Paul Buckton, and Paul says, please would you thank Senior Pastor Dave Burke and the guys from the Bethany City Church in Sunderland. I care for my disabled wife and daughter, and on a recent respite stay in the Lake District, Dave and the team invited me to join them on a short ramble, which turned out to be 6 hours, over 10 miles, and up 1,000 feet. I know what I had to tell them, he wouldn't be getting a thank you. And a slap in the mouth. At the time of my life, thanks to them, made several new friends, and had an adventure I will remember all my life, so please thank them for me. And that's from Paul Buckton. Paul, seriously, it sounds like you had a ball, and I'll be delighted to send that Senior Pastor Dave Burke a box of chocolates for his team. And Paul, I do feel bad because you deserve more than this miserable looking T-shirt for looking after your family, but I know you'll make the best of it. So remember out there, if there's someone you think deserves a thank you, then here's how you do it.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA, or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/radio2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Thank you, Maria. She flew in there, just a mouthful of tea. I had to swallow that like a surprise I'm still alive. Next, we've got a song for you for anyone heading off on holiday in search of some sunshine. And it's The Unconventionals, Strawberry Sunshine.
That summer of love, like a bolt from above, you were all I could see, no more.
And that was the Unconventionals with Strawberry Sunshine. And if there was ever a piece of music that was suitable for driving down Carnaby Street in a Mini with a Union Jack on the roof, then that's it. And I'm still waiting for Westminster Council to give me permission. I'm still waiting for somebody to give me a Mini with a Union Jack on the front. Well, the 6 o'clock triple is on its way, but first, can you please say hello to me and my lovely fiancé, Rob? This is an email I'm reading out, by the way. We were listening the other week while driving back to Wallasey from North Wales, where we'd been zorbing. You keep your private life to yourself. This is Radio 2 on a Sunday. If you don't know what zorbing is, it basically involves rolling down a hill while strapped inside a giant inflatable ball. It was great fun. Would you be up for a bit of zorbing? And that's from Anna Scott. Do you know many years ago, Anna, they used to roll witches down Pendle Hill in barrels full of tar. And that wasn't called zorbing, it was called torture. And when I was in Brazil, they were zorbing up a sand dune. I thought, I'll have a go with this, because I'd had strong drink. Anyway, I got inside this ball. Hey, I tell you what, I came out of it. Ooh, never again. Ooh, zorbing. Do you fancy a bit of zorbing, Malcolm? I'll take you for your holidays. We'll go zorbing. Now, this came in last Sunday. Hello, Paul. I've just recently dragged myself into the 21st century by getting BBC Radio 2 on my laptop. I'm an expat living in Sharm el-Sheikh. Is that right, Malcolm? Yeah? And I absolutely love it here, but it's so good to hear the familiar sounds and voices from the UK. I especially enjoy your show. Thank you very much. I just came in from the swimming pool. My swimming pool. Well, it's not mine, really. Well, what are you bragging for, then, winding us up? But I was the only one in it today, so I pretended it was all mine, just in time to hear the beginning of your programme. So I've settled down now with a cuppa and put my feet up. Ah, bliss. Just the life of Riley, this one, doesn't she, out in Sharm el-Sheikh over there? Oh, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it was too good. Anyway, please say hello to all my friends in the UK, former colleagues at Hyndburn Borough Council, and also my special friends at the St Serph's Church of Scotland in Fife. Thanks ever so much, Mary Ross. Oh, Mary, you sound like you're having a ball over there in your swimming pool and all on your own and drinking a cup of tea. And where's that in here? I've got a cup of something the BBC called tea. It's been spewed out of a machine in the corner. That's Bakelite. It's been there since the year one. I'll tell you how old it is. Archie Andrews used to drink from me. Paul, the other week you played a Take That All-Star triple. I did. I got so carried away drooling over them and remembering the concert at the Stadium of Light in Sunderland, I burned me brownies. Did you know? To the little girl's mind. What were you doing with brownies tied to a stake? Oh, you mean the cakes? I thought you meant those little girls and the berries and the toggles. That's my reputation as the local domestic goddess down the drain. Thank you, Paul. I'll blame you. And that's from Susie Boyd in Carlisle. I don't mind, Susie. I get blamed for everything, so you might as well blame me for burning the cakes. Talking of triples, it's time now for our 6 o'clock triple. And this one is for Vinnie Marks from Felpham. I hope you enjoy it, Vinnie. And it stars this week the cast of Grease.
Stranded at the drive-in, branded a fool. What will they say Monday at school? Sandy, can't you see I'm in misery? Made a start, now we're apart. There's nothing left for me. Love has flown all alone. I sit and wonder why you left me. Oh, Sandy, oh, Sandy, baby, someday it's true. But baby, you gotta believe me when I say I'm helpless without you. Love has grown all alone. I sit, I wonder why you left me. Oh, Sandy, Sandy, Sandy. Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be.
Summer days drifting away to other summer nights. Tell me more, did you get very far?
Tell me more, like this year before.
By me, she got a cramp.
Here and by me, God was so damn.
I saved her life, she nearly drowned.
He showed up, splashing around.
Summer sun, something's begun, but other summer nights.
Tell me more, was it love at first sight?
Tell me more, did you put up a fight? Bowling in the arcade room,
We went strolling, drank lemonade.
we made out under the dark.
Boys down, children cry.
Summer fling don't mean a thing, but other summer nights. Tell me more, but you done got a plan.
It turned colder, that's where it ends.
So I told her we'd still be friends.
Then we made our true love vow.
Wonder what she's doing now. Summer dreams ripped at seams, but those summer
And that was the 6 o'clock All-Star Triple requested by Vinnie Marks. Thanks for that, Vinnie. We had Sandy, Hopelessly Devoted to You, and Summer Nights from the cast of Grease with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. So if you've got an All-Star Triple, that's 3 great songs from one great artist. Although, having said that, that wasn't one great artist, Malcolm. That was 2 and a chorus. So we'll disregard that, but you know what I mean. Then you visit my show page at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2 and click on Take Part in the Show. And while you're there, you can visit the Triple Action Gallery. I'm always embarrassed saying this. And you can see what I got up to during the All-Star Triples. It's nothing exciting. In fact, I'm going to do something exciting. I'm going to get into me TARDIS. Who's had the mop round in here? I can't bear it when people come in here and clean up behind me. Where's my crisp packet gone? Now, can you guess which year we're heading back to? Prime Minister Anthony Eden resigned. The toddler's truce. Now, who remembers this? It was a controversial television close down between 6 o'clock and 7, and it was abolished in the United Kingdom. And I swear, I can vaguely remember from me cot that they used to show two kittens fighting over a ball of wool near a wastepaper basket and a windmill. Do you remember that? The actor Daniel Day-Lewis was born, and he won an Oscar for his work on the film My Left Foot. Any idea? No, I can't have remembered it, Malcolm, because it was 1957. No, forget it. I wasn't even an embryo then, let alone in a cot. 1957. I'm moving on swiftly. And from that year, he's Frank Sinatra. Night and day, you are the one.
Night and day, you are the one. Only you, 'neath the moon or under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are. I think of you day and night and day. Why is it so that this longing for you follows wherever I go? In the roaring traffic's boom, in the silence of my lonely room, I think of you day and night and day, under the hide of me. There's an oh, such a hungry yearning burning inside of me, and its torment won't be through till you let me spend my life making love to you day and night and day. Sun, whether near to me or far, it's no matter, baby, where you are. I think of you day and night and day. Why is it so that this longing for you follows wherever I go? In the roaring traffic's boom, silence of my lonely room, I think of you day and night and day. Under the hide of me, there's an oh, such a hungry burning inside of me, and its torment won't be true till you let me spend life making love to you day and night and day.
From our mystery year of 1957, that was Mr. Frank Sinatra with Night and Day. And whilst that song was on, Malcolm fainted because I was cracking my knuckles. I wasn't at all. And I've been trying to explain to him, it's not bone grinding against each other. He's got a very funny shade of pubes. It's a gaseous escape, apparently. Somebody told me that. I'm going to do my nose in the next one. That's going to set him off. All right. Malcolm, you're so nesh, honestly. Now, there's a good Liverpool word for you, nesh. It means delicate, nesh, you know. He is very nesh. I can't wait for one of me thunderstorm nosebleeds when I sit here like Carrie. You'll freak, Malcolm. If I'm going to fake it, I'm going to go down to Fox's and buy that fake stuff you put in your mouth, you know, those capsules they have in Dracula films. Dear Paul, whilst listening to... Oh, we listen to your show whilst working. Oh, do you? My husband Brian and I run a small business. We'll be working hard so we can head down to the pub. Get your priorities right, that's what I always say. Please tell Brian I love him. I love you, Brian. Yesterday we popped back to Brighton where we first met and we drove past our first flat and drove around our old haunts like the Albion pub on Church Road in Hove. Such happy memories of 32 years ago. We always listen to your show. And that's from Sue Myrie and Milton Keynes. Thanks. It's nice to go back, you know, innit? I went back to my old school last time I was in Birkenhead. It's a cash and carry. Seriously. I thought I knew it was a bit rough, but there's any need for barbed wire on the fence. And when I actually peeped over it, the reason they had the barbed wire was the cash and carry. It's sad. That's my junior school, that. Dear Put, you know, my other school was St. Risley's. That always had barbed wire around the walls, so we couldn't escape. Dear Paul, I did, though. I dug a tunnel. They shouldn't have shown us the wooden horse, should they? In the assembly rooms. You know that film where they all dug the tunnel with a spoon? We used a pneumatic drill. My wife Christine and I, and this is another email, I haven't recently got married. My wife Christine and I have recently returned from walking 1,300 miles from Canterbury to Rome to celebrate my 60th birthday. You know, there's planes now, and trains, and boats, and 1,300 miles from Canterbury to Rome. We did it to raise money for a homeless charity in Gateshead in the northeast. We started on Sunday, May the 1st, walking 20 miles a day, and we encountered hail, snow and torrential rain. We walked over the Alps. This sounds like Gladys Aylward, this, the small woman. And in over 40-degree temperatures in Italy. I had to have 8 stitches to a leg injury in Switzerland, but it was an amazing adventure. And that's from Douglas Ball. Douglas, you're a hero. You really are. You didn't tell me how long it took. That's the thing. You said you left on Sunday, May the 1st. I'm assuming it was Sunday, May the 1st, 1941. I mean, Canterbury to Rome. I mean, that's a good walk, Malcolm, innit? It really is. Well done you, Douglas. Please, will you email me back and tell me how long it took? Just in case I fancy going wandering, you know. Be found up in the Alps. Dear Paul, I just thought I'd contact you about a brilliant animal organisation I support called the Wet Nose Animal Aid, which was set up by Andrea and Gavin Gambi-Bulger. They support the small animal organisations which get overlooked in favour of the larger ones. Each year they hold a fun day where people all over the country do things to raise money, like a bungee jump, a swim-a-thon or a sponsored silence. I think out of those 3, I could do the bungee jump. The other 2 would be hopeless. This year, it's July the 29th and 30th. So that's when you're having your fun day. 29th of July and the 30th. Also, each year they hold an awards day in recognition of the smaller animal organisations and the dedicated people behind them. This year, Brian May, Virginia McKenna and Martin Clunes attended, which was fantastic. And that's from Tina Smith. Thanks for that. I had no idea about the Wet Nose Animal Aid, but I have now. Thank you for that, Tina. And I know Virginia with the Lions is a fanatic. So's Brian. And Martin is as well. He's dog mad, Martin. When busted out, it was the first email I got. Martin Clunes. Up next now, this is for Sylvia in Richmond and her extremely loyal husband, Patrick. Here's the Benny Anderson Orchestra and the appropriately entitled You Are My Man.
It's not your fault that never seen you quite so low. You sit for hours on end, all stern-faced and quiet. It's breaking my heart when I won't buy it. His times are hard and don't we know it? But we'll get through it, you and I wish to God I could help. You know that I love you. I will till the day I die. You are my man, and I know you're doing all you can. Though you never see yourself as good enough, it's not your fault that times are rough, and I love you. Come what may, you must believe I do. You must know there's no mistaking where I stand. You are my man. You are my man. If you get pissed and blame misfortune, I'll understand, but not forgive. To take the easy way out, it's just not an option, 'cause we have a life to live. You are my man, and I know you're doing all you can. No, you never see yourself as good enough. It's not your fault that times are rough, and I love you. Come what may, you must believe I do. You must know there's no mistaking where I stand. You are my man. You are my man.
And that was the Benny Andersson Orchestra, and they had a huge hit in Sweden with that, You Are My Man, and it stayed on the charts for 243 weeks. Are you sending me up? That's almost 5 years. Don't they play any other music in Sweden? 243 weeks. Really? The Beatles never had anything like that. That's incredible. Mind you, they love Benny over there, don't they, in Sweden? Love him. OK, let's have a few of your messages. Dear Paul, we heard all of your show last Sunday. We normally only hear the last hour or so because we're out playing in a band for a local care home. We give them a mini concert most Sundays. We've no idea if the residents actually enjoy our music because they're a somewhat captive audience, if you get my drift. Yes, I do, actually. Anyway, last week, our 1975 Mini broke down in the care home. The music caused it to just shatter and burst into tears. And we had to wait for a very nice man to come and help us. Hence, we were able to hear all of your show. Around 7 p.m, the rescue man arrived and told us we'd have to be towed home. We had to get out of the car and sit in the cab of the recovery truck. Oh, it was all very exciting. You have to get out more. And possibly one of the best rides I've ever had because I've never sat up front before. Please thank Richard, who came to our rescue, and play him a song. Anything will do. Much love, Alice Stevens in Oxford. Thanks for that, Alice. I'm worried about the residents of the care home who are all sitting there strapped to the chairs waiting for you and your ukulele and you never turned up. Get back to work, will you, Alice? Get your 1975 Mini. Mind you, they are lovely, aren't they? Absolutely lovely. Bit of a bone shaker, but lovely. Don't drive one if you've got false teeth, because you get 10 miles down the road and your top set's gone. OK, it's our last one now, courtesy of Earth, Wind and Fire. Well, here's Mr. Laurie Johnson with the tag theme, which signals that's the end of the show. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed the music this afternoon. Please keep in touch because, as I always say, and I mean it, we're nothing without you and your messages. And here's Maria with my contact details. Here's your pear drop back.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA. Or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/radio2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Give it a wipe on the back of your pencil skate because I've sucked it only a little bit. There's a bit of fluff on it. Anyway, big thank you to the team and to my producer, Malcolm Puentz. But most of all, a huge thank you to you for tuning in every week and for your company. Well, I'm not going to be here for the next couple of weeks. I'm off on a bit of business. I'm writing, that's what it is. So please join Jodie Prenger next Sunday. I'm Paul O'Grady. I'll be back on August the 14th, police permitting. And this is BBC Radio 2. I'm online.